Margraten Cemetery, the Netherlands, also known as the Netherlands American Cemetery and Memorial. It is the only American military cemetery in the Netherlands and is the final resting place of over 8,000 American soldiers who gave their lives for freedom in World War II, including 174 Black Americans, of whom Medal of Honor recipient Willie F. James is one of them. It is a place of profound honor, where Dutch families have adopted graves for generations. But recently, it became obvious that something vanished from the visitor center. Two panels, one dedicated to the dead soldier George H. Pruitt, the other, a panel explaining the segregation of black soldiers in the U.S. Army. The ABMC called it a rotation, but when you look closer at what was removed and the political storm that followed, it looks less like a rotation and more like an erasure. In November 2025, visitors noticed the panels were gone. The American Battle Monuments Commission, or ABMC, stated this was standard procedure to tell as many individual stories as possible. It was pointed out that a panel for another black soldier, Wilmore Mack, is still there. But here is the problem. One of the removed panels didn't just tell a single soldier's story. It provided critical context, segregation. It explained that while fighting tyranny abroad, Black Americans were fighting for civil rights at home. It told the story of the 960th Quartermaster Service Company, black troops who arrived in Margraten in 1944 to dig the very graves we visit today, traumatized by the work, yet treated as second-class citizens. Jefferson Wiggins recalled that they cried when they were digging the graves. By removing this context, they aren't just rotating a display. We are sanitizing the struggle. If you care about overlooked stories like this, subscribing helps me keep making them. According to internal ABMC emails obtained through a Freedom of Information Act request, senior officials didn't just rotate these panels at random. One email flagged the segregation panel as a problem after Trump's March 19th executive order on what it called discriminatory equity ideology. Another shows ABMC Secretary Charles Jew ordering the Margraten panel removed specifically to avoid raising any ire of the administration, and even suggesting it should stay in storage until a new admin in 2029. The timing raised questions. Dutch newspapers linked the removal to the Trump administration's anti-woke policies. And then, the new U.S. ambassador to the Netherlands, Joseph Popolo, responded. He tweeted that the displays shouldn't push an agenda criticizing America and emphasize merit and bravery. But the FOIA emails show that officials were shaping what visitors can see to avoid angering Washington, not to tell a fuller story of the war. Take George H. Pruitt. He drowned saving a comrade. He was awarded the Soldier's Medal. His merit is undeniable. But when we remove the context of the segregated army he served in, we lose the magnitude of his sacrifice. We lose the double V, victory over fascism overseas and victory over racism at home. To understand why this matters, we have to listen to the soldiers themselves. In 1944, a soldier from the 43rd Signal Construction Battalion wrote a letter to a newspaper. He wasn't complaining about the war. He was complaining that his unit, highly trained radio operators, were being turned into manual laborers because they were black. He wrote, "If the colored soldiers aren't going to be able to use their training, why should they waste that time in school?" These men wanted to serve. They wanted to use their skills. The removed panels gave voice to this specific struggle. Without them, visitors see the uniform, but they miss the man inside it. The ambassador called the criticism ill-informed. But history is information. When we remove the uncomfortable parts of our past, like segregation, we aren't protecting America's image. We are disrespecting the men who overcame that injustice to liberate Europe. Margraten is a symbol of gratitude, but gratitude requires truth. The panel about segregation needs to be seen, not stored away. Because you cannot honor a soldier's death if you refuse to be honest about his life.